the Lawn Gnome, and welcome to another DCAU update. And I'm really excited for October because we're going to be discussing two, possibly even three topics this month in the world of DC animation. And the one that we're going to be talking about today is something that I'm really surprised that I didn't even discuss in my DC animated segment before. I am pretty sure that I did a DCAU live show with Brian Lomax about this, and I even may have mentioned one or two of these in my reviews of the DC animated films alone, but we are going to be getting a very special and game-changing project in the world of DC animation this year, and it is a brand new compilation of DC Showcase shorts. And like I said, I don't know why I never talked about these before, so today we're going to be going a little bit further back in time to discuss the first DC Shorts collection, plus one, in the Superman, Shazam, The Return of Black Adam DC Showcase set. So, what exactly is DC Showcase Shorts? Well, playing on the comic title of DC in the same name, Showcase was a comic book series where you get a couple of short stories in one issue based around certain superheroes that may not have the ability to carry on its own title. It was a real great way for the DC faithful to get exposed to some of the more lesser-known characters. And of course, with Bruce Timm at the helm at the time, there was no reason why this wasn't going to do the exact same thing. So we had originally gotten 3 DC Showcase shorts in the 3 DC animated films, Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, Batman Under the Red Hood, and Batman Superman Apocalypse. So then right after that, we got all 3 of those shorts together with one 20-minute long short, Superman Shazam, The Return of Black Adam. So Shazam, if you've seen the movie starring Zachary Levi very recently, you definitely are most likely a fan. It is a very fun movie, and it was great to see a live-action film that featured Captain Marvel, or because of the current state of comic book films, Shazam. So, this short features the origins of Shazam. It starts with a little boy named Billy Batson, who is orphaned, but he also seems to be friends with a guy from the Daily Planet known as Clark Kent, who is doing a story on him, and then all of a sudden, this mysterious supernatural figure named Black Adam returns to Earth, and he is looking for the soul that is radiating the powers of the wizard Shazam. This actually gives us the opportunity to see George Newbern and Jerry O'Connell reprise their roles as Superman and Shazam, as well as famed voice actor Kevin Michael Richardson, and even the James Garner as the wizard Shazam, and Arnold Vosloo from The Mummy as Black Adam. This short is tons of fun. It's right to the point, gives you the origin story, but also gives you an amazing battle between Superman and Black Adam, and then of course when Billy Batson finally discovers his destiny, he becomes the superhero Captain Marvel, aka Shazam, and then of course he takes on Black Adam, which is very good because one of the few things that Superman does have a weakness to besides kryptonite, and possibly the occasional extremely severe beating from time to time, he is also very much susceptible to magic. As a matter of fact, he hates the fact that he's weak against magic. So then when you've got a magical being going up against a magical being, it's a very interesting stalemate. And this is a very satisfying adventure. It is just fun, plain and simple. It's even got some great laugh-out-loud moments, and Jerry O'Connell just coming back to play Shazam was absolutely wonderful. But then, of course, as I said earlier, the 3 DC Showcase shorts that had been featured in other DVDs before it also got put into this set. So we got the first of the 3, the Spectre, which stars Gary Cole and Alyssa Milano. That was probably one of the most unique DC Showcase shorts that we ever received because it felt like a 1970s detective movie. It looked the part, it was animated as such, it had the classic 70s music, and it even had those little chicken scratch effects on the animated film, even though this was a digital film as well. It definitely was a very mature story because there's some very dark supernatural elements, but the Spectre is a character that's been around for so many years in the world of DC. He's been around since the late 1940s. He was even part of the original Justice Society. We've seen the Spectre show up in various forms in other media, but we never really got to see him on the big screen, and we never really got to see him in animation like that. I think that one of the bigger roles that he's played in recent years was in 2008, because the Spectre would envelop the body of Hal Jordan, and Hal Jordan would be the Spectre in a redeeming process to eventually bring him back to life as the Green Lantern in Green Lantern Rebirth, of course written by Jeff Johns. Like I said, the Spectre is a very interesting short. It definitely has a noir detective feel, and I absolutely love that. The next one was Jonah Hex, starring Thomas Jane, Michelle Trachtenberg, and Linda Hamilton. Jonah Hex is a character that a lot of us know because he actually has been featured in DC animation before, and this is a much more mature, much more darker tone in this Western bounty hunter's tale. It's a basic story about Jonah Hex just trying to hunt down this true villainous guy, but what he finds out by one of the prostitutes at the saloon that he goes to, she tells him that there is a much more vile force at work who is actually killing off bounties of his, and maybe some other people that are just a little too naive. And this is not necessarily a fun story. The drama is very good. It definitely captures that Western feel. It also has a color palette of a lot of tans and browns and reds and yellows to really fit in with the motifs. And again, it's an overall satisfying short. The next one in this compilation is Green Arrow. This stars Neil McDonough as Green Arrow and Malcolm McDowell as Merlin, and it even includes a very young Ariel Winter from Modern Family playing a young princess from a foreign nation who is now target is as a hit because she has officially become the queen, and her uncle, Count Vertigo, wants to take the throne from her. This is just a day in the life of Ollie Queen, just waiting for Dinah, aka the Black Canary, to come home. He has a little surprise planned for her that he knows is going to make her happy just because he's been working so hard and just hasn't had the time to pay attention to her, and he just gets roped into this assassination attempt, and he takes care of this young princess as best as she can, and she and him develop a great bond and a great relationship in a very small amount of time. It's always great to see the Green Arrow go up against his nemesis Merlin. I mean, two archers, how could you possibly lose? And of course, when Dinah finally arrives in the best way possible, you get the satisfying ending that you want. The last DC Showcase short we're going to discuss was not in this compilation, nor is it going to be in the new compilation that has just come out this month, and that was featured with Batman Year One. It's Catwoman, starring Eliza Dushku, who also played Catwoman in the Batman 1 film. This is basically the anti-hero just trying to bust up a jewel smuggler. At the same time, she also believes that this guy is in too deep in another very dangerous and horrible venture, and she also knows that her good friend Holly is missing. This story is just plain old-fashioned action, and it's Catwoman just being the Catwoman that everybody loves. There are a couple of points in the story where she actually gets a little risque. I don't know if that rubs people the wrong way, especially in this day and age, but Eliza Dushku, she's fantastic. I loved her voicing Catwoman, and the only thing that I wasn't sure of was if this did in fact play in with the Batman Year One storyline, or if it is in fact its own story, just because the animation style is somewhat similar, and at the same time it is different from the actual film itself, but unfortunately that was the last DC Showcase short that we would all receive until these recent last 2 years, which is quite amazing. I'm actually very glad that the DC Showcase shorts would return because I like getting these little stories of these lesser known and lesser popular DC comic book heroes, and I thought that it was a great thing for people who just don't know them in general. So I'm very excited to return very, very soon with another DC animated update for you as we take a look at the next DC Showcase Shorts compilation. Until then, please leave your comments in the box below. Let me know what you thought about these shorts if you have seen them. If you haven't, I'm hoping that you'll get an opportunity to track them down. I think they might actually be on HBO Max if you have that. But in the meantime, I will see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.